Well, this is Ashleigh's urn. I picked it because it was an angel.
Life is a daily battle for Ruth Burns, a single mother who lost her only daughter to a dangerous cheerleading stunt.
I miss her more than anything in this world. You know, I don't know what to do with myself. If I didn't have the dogs and the cats to have to take care of, I don't know if I would have gotten out of bed.
When her daughter Ashleigh was born, her mother said she was the happiest baby in the world, and they shared a unique bond.
She was just a joy to have, and she was the easiest baby. Everybody wanted a babysitter, but not everybody could babysit her.
An athletic child, Ashleigh was enrolled in figure skating classes. But at age 7, she hung up her skates and picked up a pair of pom-poms.
She picked cheerleading, and she was a natural at it.
Ashleigh was a natural right away. She made the club team in her region and was one of only 12 incoming freshmen chosen for Medford High's cheerleading squad.
She didn't even have to try out. They said, "You're Ashleigh Burns," and she said, "Yep." They said, "You wanna start now?" Or
weighing in at about 90 pounds, she was the perfect size for some of cheerleading's most dangerous stunts. In the summer of 2005, she was practicing for an upcoming competition when she attempted a double arabesque, a stunt in which Ashleigh was held by one foot in the air and was supposed to twirl around twice before dropping into the arms of her teammates. But Ashleigh didn't make the second complete turn.
She landed stomach down on a girl's shoulder.
She had ruptured her spleen, and she died of internal bleeding on her way to the hospital. Her family, coaches, and teammates mourned at a funeral service at St. Joseph's Church. But the tragedy left Ruth heartbroken and searching for answers.
The hospital's not far away. It takes 2 hours just about to bleed out from a spleen. And the fire station was less than a block away.
This January, Ruth filed a wrongful death suit against the gym and against leaders in the cheerleading community, alleging Ashleigh could have survived if cheerleading was a regulated activity with protocol for injuries.
The first requirement would be that they know how to properly respond to an emergency situation.
Employees of the gym where she was injured declined to talk about the case, but soon after the accident, her assistant coach told the Boston Globe that Ashleigh had been practicing the stunt for several weeks and had done it at least once correctly.
That is so telling. That statement alone, she did it once. So a child did something that is recognized that she shouldn't do, but she did it once, so she's fine to do it. Why do they have qualifications? Why do they have grades?
Cases as severe as Ashleigh's are fairly uncommon, but studies show female athletes are injured more often and more seriously by participating in cheerleading than any other athletic activity. About 25,000 cheerleaders end up in the emergency room each year, and 39 states, including Massachusetts, don't consider it a sport. As a result, there are few safety guidelines and regulations.
If you look at the actual numbers and you look at the research, it does happen pretty infrequently, but when it does, it's, devastating.
College cheerleaders often attempt even higher level stunts to qualify for and compete in competitions. Boston University senior Rochelle Rennie has been cheering since she was a freshman in high school. With a smile, she can recite a laundry list of her injuries.
I've dislocated my knee multiple times during cheerleading, so I have to wear a knee brace all the time. Dislocated bones in my wrist at a basketball game from tumbling on the court since it's very hard impact. I got a concussion last weekend at a basketball game. I got kicked in the head. Cheerleading is a very dangerous sport. Most of us have braces, get taped every game because we always get injured.
But she says nothing will keep her from cheering. Despite the dangers, she'll do it any chance she gets.
Cheerleading is not one of those things like basketball, like after you graduate you can have a pickup game with your friends, like let's go shoot hoops. I can't be like, let's go cheer.
Her teammate and the only male on the team has played basketball and baseball, both considered contact sports. But he says that comparatively, cheerleading is the most dangerous of them all.
It's so easy to get hurt. It's so easy for things not to go right compared to, other sports.
Whenever you're ready. Cheerleading safety advocates hope that terming it a sport will increase regulations and decrease injuries. Recently, the Wisconsin Supreme Court handed down a landmark decision, terming cheerleading a contact sport because it involves physical exertion and skill, it is governed by a set of rules, and its participants are organized and work together as a team. Contact is a term usually reserved for sports such as basketball and baseball. Boston University athletic trainer Jennifer Chadburn says for cheerleading, it depends on the situation.
There are some that just do the cheers and they're, have the pom-poms and it's more of a show. And then there's definitely the higher level collegiate gymnasts and competition gymnasts that do the high level stunts and choreography that I definitely would consider a sport.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
But for cheerleading safety advocates, the victory ends there. The decision recommends increased usage of mats and spotters, but stops short of making them a requirement. Even the American Association of Cheerleading Coaches and Administrators define cheerleading as an activity, because while it meets most of the requirements of a sport, its primary purpose is not competition. The lawyer in Ashleigh Burns' wrongful death suit believes they may have something else in mind.
Cheerleading, believe it or not, makes billions of dollars a year. And they have a reason not to want it to be a sport. With the association of it as a sport, there's increased safety, increased scrutiny, and the cheerleaders would have increased protection. Right now, what they have is an unregulated free-for-all, where they're just able to line their pockets freely and not have to worry about safety, not have to worry about being overseen.
Despite the risks associated with the stunts that cheerleaders perform, Boston University coach Taryn Walsh believes adding safety restrictions decreases crowd excitement and makes it harder for cheerleaders.
The crowd likes the difficult stuff, and that's the stuff we love to do.
But, she says, the stunts can be performed safely without compromising crowd excitement. Now, cheerleading safety advocates are pursuing stricter regulations they hope will lead to fewer catastrophic injuries.
Make sure that the coaches and the people who run facilities are trained on how to recognize levels. When you drop your kid off at a facility or you drop your kid off with the coach, you kind of assume that they're going to be safe.
In addition to increased training, Ruth believes uniform design could incorporate safety elements, such as protective vests.
And put it underneath their shell tops. They don't always have to show their midriff.
You wouldn't be able to throw that tumbling with any sort of gear on. You wouldn't be able to build pyramids that close together. If you were layered, a lot of it is being person on top of person.
Almost all contact sports have medical technicians on site during games and during practices. But cheerleading has none during practices and only secondary access to the medical staff during games.
If you go to a Barry Manilow concert, there is an ambulance waiting out front. These girls are thrown 20 feet in the air and there's nothing for them. No safety, there's no mat.
But in fighting to change cheerleading, Ruth knows that her loss is permanent.
I'm trying to do this for their kids so they don't suffer like I'm suffering. And I would do anything to get my daughter back.
In voicing the story of her daughter's life, she hopes to inspire changes to help keep cheerleaders safe. Reporting from Boston, I'm Lauren Garber.